and he's going to pick up a blue stone, which is interesting. A second starter item on top of the Bumba's mask.
It looks like they're not done with Freya just yet. Her ultimate's down. They can actually aggress on her, seeing as they've got her rooted, stunned, and the Berserker's Barrage finishes her off.
That's going to be a first blood.
Great move, actually sticking around and being patient for that.
Yeah, that was a ton of patience there on the side of Paradigm. That was executed well. Enough CC there to really lock her down. They knew her ultimate was down, and if they could get in and get that Wrath of Terra, she was done for. So that was a good play by Paradigm. That is first blood, but you know, it's not going to be the deciding factor in this game, as XP actually in favor of Paradigm, but gold in favor of XP in favor of Insomnia and gold in favor of Paradigm.
The unfortunate thing is they're going to have to keep doing that. But by the nature of her, Freya, she's just as strong as Xbalanque is, and she's going to have lifesteal ahead of him. You're going to need at least two people definitely trying to keep her down throughout the entire game. And I don't know if they can afford those resources.
It's going to be tough. Mortality, the former Mortality roster is just a slippery team. I mean, you have the Wing Gust from Isis, you have the Pounce from Bastet, you have the Freya ultimate there. You have just that innate slipperiness from Vamana, where he's able to just traverse so much distance and knock up your entire team. So, it's going to be difficult as this game goes on for Paradigm, but if they can secure nice kills like that, nice picks throughout this game, that's eventually going to mount up in their favor.
I'm curious as to see what Watson's game plan is right now. Thor's already made some moves. Bastet, may not have as much of an effect as Thor does in the late game, seeing though they're already starting at the gold for it. No, they were just looking at it. Watson probably just content to farm, but I'm not sure if farming is going to be enough.
And we're going to see Syncrotion in a little bit of trouble here now as the Kraken's going to go down, and that's going to be the second kill on side for Mortality. We also seen Thor go up there as well. Who are they going to look for? And it's going to be Watson. Freeze with the disengage here.
Zenborn gets caught out. Bastet trying to put up a fight now. It's best for her to just get out of here now. Yes.
And that's unfortunate for the former Mortality roster, as they found two members caught out like a domino effect. You've seen the first go down, and then the second as Watson came in. Zenborn, however, the victim as he stepped in for the freeze to try and save his teammate. Future just trying to get the banish on Tank there. Watson in with the cats. Tank could be in trouble here now as Hydra makes the rotation in. Not a whole lot of mana on the side of Paradigm. But Watson and Future going to disengage after that battle as Kashi and Kizao.
I like how Paradigm's moving around here. You see Insomnia, formerly Mortality, getting caught out because they're not all sticking together. Well, some will come in from the right, and then Paradigm just switches their attention to the right. All right, Freya comes in, tries to come in from behind. They can easily turn their attention to her.
The interesting thing to note is Mortality was out farming Paradigm. Paradigm was moving as a team and triple splitting and quadruple splitting camps, and that was starting to catch up with them in XP, but that doesn't matter when you start to get the kills and you start to knock the enemy team out of lane and you start to take things like Gold Fury and global objectives. So while that was a detriment to them for, I don't know, the first 8 or 9 minutes of the game, they've actually turned that into a huge benefit through securing those kills and securing those global objectives.
Agreed, but on the same side, we're probably not going to see much pushing from Nuwa. She's going to be definitely more involved in the late game. And that's unfortunate because you need that early gold, but then you also don't want to be out in the open like that. Xbalanque's going to need to step it up a bit. Already securing 1 kill, he did a great job stacking onto his passive.
And that's exactly what we were talking about earlier. Frost, we were talking about if he's going to be able to get those stacks, or if they're going to go in the hand of the support. And I guess that we've got our answer nice and early here, is that we finally got that first stack on X-Ball, and that's not something you want to see. You don't want to see that X-Ball start to fade into that late game form that he is known for.
I think if Freya wants to start boxing now would be the time. He's just now getting into his lifesteal. Freya's best boxing is before the ADC has a lifesteal out.
Yes, so she has that innate lifesteal in her kit. We're going to see Kizao and Watson invade on the blue buff over there. There's the ult from Nuwa, and we're going to see Syncrotion go down as well. I couldn't get over to see that kill. But, you know, that we see another 4-man rotation with the Nuwa ult. That kind of makes it all 5 men on the mid lane there. And we're going to see the first tier 1 tower go in favor of Paradigm.
And I credit it to how they're moving. Four of them all together, knocking out one ISIS. Freya's farming, Ymir's hanging back, Bastard's coming out of the jungle. You've got to move all together. You've got free rotations. It's not going to be pretty.
It's not. We're talking about mistakes and how these teams punish each other for them. The mistake that was made there looked like a good play at first. Watson moved in to steal Nuwa's blue buff to try and give Kizao an advantage in lane. Waiting for, you don't want Nuwa under tower spamming fog and spamming shiny metal and clay minions and just able to stall that wave from actually going in under tower. It becomes a nuisance because then Kizao can't rotate out of lane. So it looked like a good idea on paper, but the problem was Nuwa saw it. There was ward coverage over on that side of the map, and mid lane is going to get punished for it because we've seen that big rotation.
It looks like Vamana and Bastet trying to deal with them. Cats bleed. It's enough to take her down. That's one unfortunate thing about Nuwa. No escape. Only thing you have is your ultimate.
That's going to be the first kill for Insomnia as we see the two-man rotation on Kizao. Kizao's level 16 and has the Vamana ultimate that was not used to secure that kill, and he's just going to be able to zone out Hydra and Vipers. They're going to come back in here, however, and here is the X-Ball ult. The X-Ball makes the rotation. Here is the Kraken as well. Kizao in trouble. Watson moving in to try and help out Basharan, and oh my god, Rathatir as well. Tank is here. This is a four-man rotation, but Zenborn and Syncrotion here to save the day. That was almost bad news for Insomnia. We're going to see the next tier 1 tower taken for Paradigm as they are just punishing mortality right now anytime they overstay. Or I should say Insomnia. I manage these guys. It's hard to get used to calling them a different name.
I'm really impressed by Hydra so far. I've been looking at his mana and noticing, wow, this should probably be right about the time where he should leave. But no, he's sticking around. He's managing it properly, sticking a double tap from his Mjolnir's attunement in the midst of the Hydra, trying to take that Vamana down.
Let's look at the item builds, okay? We're going to see the Stone of Gaia finally built up on Kizao. Maybe a Mystical coming out as well. On the side of Sylvanas, we're going to see Traveler's Boots and the Sovereignty already online. Heartward looking to be coming as well. So a lot of Aura items on the side of Paradigm right now, compared to Zenborn, who has the cooldown boots and maybe a Mystical as well over there. It's hard to tell on the spectator client here.
I don't think so. I'm a little interested with how the new was building. Went for the physical, and it's great to build physical defense early on in the game, but it's got no health attached to it. All it has is the passive, which, when used with the ultimate, will definitely secure you some nice sustain.
That's a cheeky build, when you think about it, for sustain in lane. If she can ultimate when they're about to secure a kill. Here we're going to see the wall. Watson going to jump him. He's going to find himself in trouble. He's going to pounce out. Just barely. Almost escaped there. Sharon's poison going to tick on him. Syncrotion in trouble there now as circle protection goes down. Zenborn with the glacial spikes. And we see Hydra chasing on the back line. Insomnia so spread out here now. Future under siege as well as he tries to get out. Here is the ultimate and the spirit ball over the wall. Zenborn going to go down to Hydra. Hydra chasing him down. Sharon on the chaser now. There's the cripple on top of Future. Not that it really matters. The slow is what's going to get him as Viper is going to secure that kill. The wall under tower. Hydra going to get out there with full health. That's going to be another Goal Fury on the side of Paradigm. Insomnia just folding in this first game here. They're going to have to up it for the next game.
And that all to do with their positioning, because you've got someone from Insomnia on the top of the map, bottom of the map, left of the map, right of the map. Easily, the four-man grouping from Paradigm, you can go shift your attention to the right, kill them, shift your attention to the left. It's not going to work. I know maybe they're just trying to catch Paradigm out, flank them from all sides, and then they're surrounded, but it's not working out that way. They're powerhousing their way out.
Graphs heavily in favor of Paradigm at this point. We have a 6,000 XP advantage, 7,000 gold difference. We're almost to the point of no return, that 10,000 gold mark, where it becomes very hard to, to get back into the game. Kizao, however, managing to continue to push up on this tier 1 tower. He may actually get it here finally, as Nuwa is nowhere near getting back to that lane, and she is completely fine with that tower finally going down as they look to put some global pressure on the map as a 5-man unit.
This is where I'm getting worried for the new She's not going to have the space anymore. She works best in limited quarters. She's one of those gods, not like the other mages where she works at range. She works better like raw when she's in actual fights. You have to be kiting around, and you can't do that when you've got a Vamana on you at all times. So, but at this point in the game, she can start grouping up with her team, so it might be fine.
The thing I'm excited to see here, Frost, is once Vamana starts to roam and get in these team fights, I've watched this roster play with that Vamana, and once I've seen them lose their lanes, okay, until Vamana has gotten online, and then they've come back. Here is the wall on top of Watson. Watson going to get the double pounce here, and the Cats are going to go down. We are going to see Vipers finally go down. Tank in trouble as well. Nuwa up in the air. They're waiting for her to come into the fight here. Tank in trouble as well. Hydra far out on the back line with the Berserker's Barrage down. Watson and Future both low, but they're coming back in. Hydra with the hammer. Tank in trouble. He's going to go down to Keyzao. Keyzao going to secure that kill. And Paradigm is on the run right now as Mortality just looks for something to do. They are trying to get their heads on straight here. They finally won their first little engagement. Things are finally starting to go their way. And they are just going to clear their camps and push up on middle lane just a little bit. It's not going to be enough to take this tier 1 tower, however.
Those small victories that you need. Paradigm kind of lost that great positioning I was talking about. Thor went one way to try and get the Bastet and the Freya while the team was dealing with the rest of the team.
Vamana picking up 2 kills now. He has that kill on Nuwa, as well as the kill off of that last engagement there. As I believe he chased down Tank, is who went down to Vamana in that engagement. So, yeah, so we're starting to see Vamana stack up in kills here a little bit. He is, you know, he's starting to get a little bit of level gap on the rest of the team here, so it'll be interesting to see if he can capitalize on that. Obviously a little bit more valuable on someone who can zone the back line than it is on Nuwa, who Nuwa's kind of one and done. You know, she drops her clay minions, shiny metal, can get that groups going. I mean, she is game changing. Don't get me wrong.
She's got the cooldown just for it.
Yeah, but the cooldown can be a little bit of trouble. Here the clays once again.
This is what I'm talking about. Vamana now can harass Nuwa as much as he wants. So that might change solo lane in their favor, but at this point it doesn't matter. Tank.
All right, and that could have been a dangerous engagement there, but beside an opportune time for him to walk in the lane there, and Zenborn missing the wall there. It was angled a little bit better. They may have been able to pick up that kill on Tank there with the Cats.
Chooses to go on down on Watson.
Zenborn getting melted there to circle protection is not enough to save him. Just look at the comboing of the alts there, Frost. That was beautiful. Yeah. We saw the Nuwa alt launch for Vision. They knew where the entire team was. Thor was up in the air, as well as the X-Ball alt for the stun on Zenborn. It froze Watson and Zenborn almost in place for that perfect execution of the Thor alt. Positioning is everything, and it's something that Paradigm has showed us that they're able to do expertly, as that combo was done beautifully with perfect positioning on the side of the mid laner and the jungle in that fight.
It comes back to what I was saying there beforehand from Watson. I've been wanting to see a lot more action from him, but he's in the midst of these engagements, he dips out. I understand you don't want to be in the middle of a crack, and you don't want to be in the midst of Thor, but that just leaves someone like Ymir or Isis hanging by, and there wasn't enough momentum in the early game. It's going all towards Paradigm now.
We're going to look at Watson going into a Mail Renewal here, which is probably what he needs to do at this point. We've seen him get burst down to about a quarter of health at the end of these engagements after they've secured a kill or two in that one engagement they had that they won. And you can't help but think, but if Watson was able to get that Mail Renewal proc during that fight, maybe, just maybe, he would have been sustained there and pick up the other kills on the Nuwa on the Thor.
I'm seeing a Void Stone coming out from Nuwa. Rather curious about this build. Again, going back to how Nuwa's played in the midst of everyone, she's going to be looking to take down everyone's protections, but I'm wondering how that would have been different if she had gone with something like a spear, perhaps, with her ultimate.
That's an interesting build for sure. I'm not really that's a curious one for me, just because I don't see the benefit if, you know, when are you ever up in the middle of the fight for that to really, for the passive to really, or the aura, I should say, to be of effect. I think this is one we need to ask Kret about. Where's Kret? You know, I think we need to ask him. But obviously, Kaji has his reasons.
Fantastically bold head of his.
Yes, yeah, it's quite fantastic. There's only one man I know with a better bald head than Kret, and that is Echoes. I don't know if you know Echoes or not, but he has a fabulously bald head. You know, to the point where it shines. All right.
As Paradigm's going for another Gold Fury, but Insomnia is not going to let this one go uncontested.
And yeah, that's going to be a quick burn there, the X-Ball damage. And
Uncontested.
yeah, Keys out in as well with Watson going in deep. Hydra with the dunk, but it's going to miss. Watson getting cheeky there. Keys out, popping that ultimate a little bit late. He is going to go down. That was a little bit premature. We're going to see Zenborn in here as well, looking for the freeze, but it's going to miss. There's a pounce from Watson, and here is the ultimate from Zenborn. Not going to do a whole lot. He is going to look to get out of there. Syncrocian and Future are split right now as the banish is landed, and Insomnia has to go on the run. Future not able to get away. The pounce again from Watson. Watson not going to be able to pick up a kill here. He is going to skate out of this engagement, but Insomnia just finding themselves split in another team fight once again. They need to stick together. They're finding their mid laner and their carry are always at the back line being zoned out by 3 members, while Watson and Keys out are way too deep. They need to fix their positioning in these fights if they're going to beat Paradigm. Paradigm is punishing them for it every time.
And with that, they're free to take. Their jungle might be going for that first tier tower in the dual lane, which you're going to need. You want all this pressure up through. Maybe, yeah, it would be best to go with the dual lane. You're going to be going for the Fire Giant, but honestly, don't think that they're going to need it. Maybe 1 or 2 more fights, and they can just charge right up the middle. I don't think they need Fire Giant.
We're going to see the new ult just for vision to see where the enemy team is, see if they can push or what they can get into with the positioning of Mortality thus far.
Well, so far, Jaren's been doing a great job of stacking his passive. Going into the Hasten Fatalis, he's going to go full throttle. It's going to be very hard to deal with him.
It's going to be hard. This Thor build. Thor just seems so tanky with that male renewal. Once they secure a kill, he's healing back up, and it has played a big part. I almost said big fart. In this game thus far, especially with the shell coming online now. There's going to see 2 of those. Okay, we're going to see 1 on Sylvanas and 1 on Thor. So we're going to see that ability to really defend up against the circle protections and Vamana when he ults up. So that's going to be interesting. We see both of those fully online in the tier 3.
Seems that Ymir is opting for the winged wand. Oh, do we have a fight? We do. As they're fighting over by the Fire Giant, Watson got caught out trying to stop them from taking the Fire Giant, but it's all theirs, and they're heading over to the solo tower.
We'll likely see tier 2 go down here unless Kizao has something to say about it, but there's tons of damage on the tower as Tank moves up to zone. Mortality under siege. Future best push that tower to get something out of this. He's going to come back as Syncrocian makes his way in with Zenborn. We're going to see Keys out. Go down to Hydra. Here's the wall from Hydra once again. And the freeze. Syncrocian's going to pop those beads and Wingust out of it. But he almost found himself in trouble. The pull on Future from Tank. That was another great one we've seen. Here's the Freya ult is up. And the 5 men say, we're not bothering with you. We're going to go take the middle Phoenix. And we are going to look for the end here. Maybe go for the tier 2.
Seeing that Nuo's actually making good use of those minions as that secondary front line.
I think we're seeing another instance of Paradigm forgetting that the tier 2 tower was up. We've seen them move in on the Phoenix, and they transitioned afterwards to clear that wave. But we've seen this yesterday out of them where they forgot about the tier 2 being up and went right for that Phoenix. I think getting a little bit too excited there. But this does not look good for Insomnia right now.
No, it does not. This might spell their doom, seeing how this goes. A pull from Sylvanas into Wrath of Terror. Isis goes down immediately. This Phoenix is going to be free, and that might be the end of it here.
Yeah, 3 Phoenixes are down right now. Here is the wall to block Future off from doing anything. Hydra on the backline here with the Berserker's Barrage. They are focusing that Titan down to 64%, 60% now. Zenborn in with the ultimate, but he is likely to go down. Here is the Kraken, and Kizao and Zenborn fall victim to Jiran, and the Berserker's Barrage is going to go on Future as well. They are cleaning up Mortality as the Titan down to 3% and 0. And that has been game 1 for Paradigm, ladies and gentlemen, in a best-of-3 series. The 2 best teams in EU. I've seen this a lot of times, these 18-3, 18-5 games on both sides of these teams, so don't be surprised if Insomnia comes back with a strong game next. These guys are the type of teams that trade out in these big victories. And like I said, they punish for those little mistakes, and they keep coming, and that's exactly what happened here in this game. Take a look at damage here, Frost. Look at the damage coming out of Watson.
Going into the details, Watson, no. He had the most damage indeed, 16k, but it didn't seem like it was being put to good use.
Isis with 4,800. Just getting zoned the entire game, getting caught out. Unfortunate for Syncrotion in that game. Future with a 6,800. Also unfortunate, Zembo with only the 39. Sylvanas we're going to see with a 3,000. 23,000 damage on a Nuwa. That is not untypical of a Nuwa. A Nuwa able to put that global pressure. When you hit that ult on all 5 people across the map, you know, you're going to build up damage every time you do that. Close to 2,500 at the very least. Next, we're going to see close behind X-Ball. With those stacks on his passive, 17,801. Then we see Thor. That's the real story here. 15,569. He was in the middle of the fight every time, chasing down the back line. He beat out Poseidon in damage, who was landing Krakens left, right, and center. I think that has to go to show you how strong Hydra's Thor play can be.
Indeed. And it's all, it all comes back to how they were positioning everything. Nuwa with 2,731 structure damage. Those minions really coming in handy. The build, we can be questionable, but I think it fit. He was finding his place. He was finding where he fit into there.
Sure, we're going to take a quick break here as we get set for the next of this best of 3 series between Paradigm and the former Mortality roster, now known as Insomnia. And we're going to cut the break, guys, and we'll be right back. Good job, Ben. Good job.